Alright. Hello. I haven't really updated about my cancer much since I used to do the Animal Crossing blogs, but I wanted to do a brief video on thoughts I've been having since I got diagnosed with glioblastoma in March of 2020. And right now it's August of 2023. So it's been 3 years, right? And I'm doing pretty good. Yes, the cancer's still there. Glioblastoma never goes away, but it's at a manageable level. I guess the worst thing is that I had a seizure at one point, so now my left side of my body is a little numb. So it's a little hard to type and do things. And my left foot is also numb, so I limp a little when I walk. But it's not debilitatingly bad yet, you know? So cross my fingers, doesn't get worse than this anytime soon. It is really annoying that my fingers don't work as well because I can't play League of Legends, and that's like my favorite game. So yeah. Other than that, currently let's see. So let me just explain what my schedule of treatment was. Because in 2020, I had the surgery to remove the majority of the glioblastoma. So after that, I just needed to do chemo and radiation to keep it in check, and I did all that. But here is the main thing. The first oncologist I had wasn't the best. And I didn't realize it because I just got cancer. So I didn't I didn't Google cancer, and stuff like that. But my first oncologist, while doing radiation, she saw some progression, so she immediately put me on Avastin. And I just assumed that was fine. But the thing with Avastin is it is an effective drug in that it's a anti-angiogenic drug, which means it prevents the formation of blood vessels, so no new blood vessels means no food for the tumor. It's good. But the problem with Avastin is that it blocks you out of pretty much any clinical trials for glioblastoma. So once you take Avastin, you're just locked out. They said you're not qualified to be in a clinical trial because you took Avastin. And the thing is, my oncologist didn't tell me this. She just straight up put me on Avastin. So now I am literally unable to take any clinical trials at all. And not saying that clinical trials are amazing, but it's an option. So if you want to leave your options open, try to wait to use Avastin, which is what my current oncologist is doing. She wanted to wait as long as she could before using Avastin because it works. It does work. So unless you're on your deathbed or it's clear that nothing else is working, that is when you should use Avastin. So I wanted to get that out there because I was not given that information, and so far I can't find that kind of information unless I'm deliberately looking for it. So if you're in the stages of cancer, when you're just getting diagnosed with it, make sure your oncologist is clear that this is the only option instead of just going towards Avastin immediately. Avastin should be your last resort because it is effective. It does work, but there's other options. That's how much cancer research has progressed. You have a lot more options, and you need to actually look into that. So that's the first thing I wanted to get online because I couldn't find that information until My oncologist was the only person that would tell me this. And then once you look into clinical trials, every clinical trial rejects you if you've taken Avastin already. So be careful of Avastin. Other than that, my current regimen is based on that of Professor Thomas Seyfried, who is someone that is an advocate of metabolic therapy for cancer treatment, and which is basically going at it from a different direction and seeing what fuels cancer. And the two things that fuel cancer, from what I understand, is glutamine and glucose. And those two things are basically very essential for the healthy body. But Professor Seyfried's idea is that if you go on a ketogenic diet, you can remove the glucose basically, or limit the glucose that you take into your body, which I've been doing from the beginning. The only problem is you can't inhibit glutamine with a regular diet. You need a drug. And the problem with that is there's no doctor that's going to prescribe you a glutamine inhibitor so that you can treat your cancer. So you're stuck there. So my solution for that would be to start fasting more. So I've started doing intermittent fasting, where I just fast for 16 hours every day and then eat a ketogenic diet 8 hours out of the day. And then once a week, I'll do a 24-hour fast. And I'm going to see how that affects everything. Because the current scan of my brain, there was progression, but there's not a huge mass. So I'm going to be on Glioblastoma or Lomestin. But I asked my doctor if I could hold back on the Avastin a little bit, because Avastin also has a lot of side effects, like hypertension, and it causes clots in your legs. It's a little dangerous. So I want to avoid that. So I'm trying the fasting method. And then I'm also doing CBD oil, because that also actually has some anti-angiogenic properties. So it's kind of similar to what Avastin would be doing. So basically, I've been trying to look up different, anything that is anti-angiogenic, anything that is anti-inflammatory, so that I could produce the effects of Avastin without using it. And then I discussed with my doctor, and she says I can try just Lomestin for one cycle, and then if my scans still show up worse, then she's gonna force me into Avastin, because she wants me to live. I will give in to that. If my next MRI scan is not good, I will start taking Avastin. And I'm not completely against Avastin. I just have this weird feeling about it, as if, I don't know, something about it just doesn't feel right. And yeah, it's not a good way to go about medicine with your gut feeling. But yeah, for now, I'm on a regimen of a lot of supplements, different supplements that promote your immune system while inhibiting tumor growth by being anti-angiogenic. And then CBD, there's a lot of different things it does, but I think it's mainly an anti-angiogenic and also boosts your immune system. So that is my current state, and I've been exercising. I've been exercising every day. Sorry, it's getting weird to talk. I don't talk that much anymore, so hopefully that's not an effect of anything. Because I know late stage glioblastoma patients start slurring their words, so I need to practice talking. It's just when you have glioblastoma and you want to hang out with friends, that's the elephant in the room. Everybody wants to ask you how you're doing. I don't want to talk about it. But yeah. So they say. So yeah, currently I am basically just on supplements and like I'm on Keppra, which is the anti-seizure medicine. Because the seizures are what's causing my nerve damage, I think, mainly. So as long as I don't get a seizure, I should be overall okay. But the seizure is caused by the progression of the tumor. So my plan is to start taking higher doses of supplements, and I like you're gonna pee out most of it, so it's not worth taking like a lot of it. I am looking into IV bars that inject you with direct, like vitamin C's and stuff. That one sounds interesting. A little bit expensive, so it's a possibility. It's one of the possibilities I'm looking into. And yeah, it's like might be a little heavy on the holistic medicine category, where it's like, oh, I'm gonna drink a bunch of supplements and essential oils and hopefully my cancer goes away. It's like, no, it's logical. Glioblastoma does not go into remission. I'm gonna have to have it for the rest of my life, however long that is. My goal is let's set goals. Like my realistic goal is 60 to be 60 years old when I die. I am currently 32, so I have 28 years, or wait, think, yeah, 28 years. I can't do math. I want to live to be at least 60, because 60 is like a solid age. You're kind of old, so it's like not surprising if you die at 60, but you're not so old that you're like retiring and like need help from other people, which is, yeah. That might be offensive to actual 60-year-olds, but I think 60 is a good goal for me. But the average glioblastoma patient doesn't live 10 years. So I'm on year 3. Technically, I have 7 years in a positive sense. So if I could live more than 10 years from my diagnosed day, I think I have achieved something, right? So the current regimen: CBD oil, intermittent fasting, ketogenic diet, exercise. That's the main thing I skipped over. Exercise does inhibit your glutamine, because glutamine, I think, supports making muscles. So if you do exercises that promotes muscle growth, a lot of your glutamine is going towards your muscle growth. So it should be less glutamine for your brain, or you're just going to exhaust yourself because the cancer's taking all the glutamine, and then you're exercising, so you don't have any glutamine to grow muscles. There's a lot of things that could be possible. There's no like standard research on this. This is just all speculation on my part. It's almost like I'm trying to do my own clinical trial, because a lot of Professor Seifried's ideas aren't funded, because nobody wants to fund a cancer cure that doesn't involve patenting a medicine, because all he's saying is make people eat keto, and then, which is, keto is like no carbs, no to like very little carbs, to a high fat diet. And that's easy to do technically. So it's like telling people to eat keto and then take glutamine inhibitors, and that will cure the cancer. It's like they're not going to be able to profit off of the glutamine inhibitors unless they're going to do it like insulin, where they like, I don't know, hike up the price of glutamine and fat inhibitors. That's the only future I see if the metabolic therapy goes through, is that they're going to hike up the prices of glutamine inhibitors. because you don't need anybody's permission to do a keto diet, you know? That is my current situation, and I just wanted to start posting it because I was at first attempting to write a book, but then it's so much work. Like writing a book, publishing it, and then hoping some people will be interested in my shitty writing. Nah, I'd rather just post blogs and then whatever happens, happens. But yeah. So I'll start posting semi regular blogs depending on how I feel. And we'll see how things go. Um, Thank you for watching, and I will be back. On what day should I start doing? Who knows? Yeah, we'll see when I post another video. It's just how my mood is. Bye bye.